Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a modern treehouse. Here are all of the materials that we will need to make our house. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our materials, we can get started. So the first thing that we have to do in making our modern treehouse is to make the tree. This is quite easy. We want to begin by looking down at the ground like this. It's always a little bit easier. And by placing 2 oak wood next to each other. 1, 2. Then place 2 upright diagonal oak wood, 1, 2, and go up by 1. Then place 2 up left diagonally placed oak wood, 1, 2, go left by 1. Place 2 bottom left diagonally placed oak wood, 1, 2, go down by 1, and then quite simply complete the circle with a final oak wood. We are going to add 14 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 oak woods on top of our tree base. This is going to make the height of our tree. So you're always welcome to make this bigger. Absolutely every single time you can make these tree houses bigger, but I wouldn't recommend making them smaller. If you make them bigger, you will just find that you have to acquire some more stairs and acquire a mode of transportation all the way up the tree, but in making them smaller, it kind of distorts the tree and it makes them look a little bit weird. But I think that we have chose a perfect height, with a height of the tree being about 15, or at least that is the trunk, and the rest of the tree, of course, is made up of the leaves on the top. So it is a bit taller than that, but do feel free to alter it. I would make it higher, very rarely ever lower. So that is what we want to have, ladies and gentlemen. That is the trunk of our tree. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make the house around it. If you come to the front of your tree and you come to the left side of the tree, which would be here, I want you to place 3 oak woods extending outwards. 1, 2, 3. I then want you to go right by 1. And then place a grey concrete still going right. Place 1 in front, and then place 4 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place 2 going right, 1, 2, and join all the way down to the ground. I then want you to take the block that hit the ground and go back by 1. Place an oak wood plank to the right of it. And then place 2 glass pane right of that. You can use block if you like, 1, 2. Place an oak wood plank on the end of the pane, and now we've got to start going backwards. We're going to go backwards by placing 6 oak planks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to join back to the tree, just like this. You may choose to add a window or so on the right side of the build. I mean, here isn't a bad place for one, but then it will make building in the inside a little bit tricky. So it's up to you whether or not you want to add that. It's just a personal option. Okay, so what are we going to do in regards to this? We've actually made a good chunk of this, believe it or not. So the next thing that we're going to do is on the left side here, kind of kicking off where we first started, we're going to add a row of 1, 2, 3 oak wood planks on top of the pre-existing oak wood planks, just like this. We're going to take this entranceway here, we're going to place a glass right up at the top of it, we're going to place a grey concrete below, and this is going to be the entrance. You feel free to fill the entrance, the actual inside this in with whatever you like. I'm going to be using block of quartz, so preemptively, before I place a door there and have to destroy it and replace it, I'm going to have the quartz there, just like this. So, what are we going to be doing next? Well, we have to take this area here on the right and we have to raise up all of the oak wood planks. So, we're just going to add an extra layer on top of the oak wood planks like this. Just like so. We're going to increase the glass pane that we have also. And now that we've placed that glass in between, what we can now do is add a layer of oak wood planks on top of this. And after that, a layer of blue stained glass block, just like this. Perfect. So the area above this, we want to take the grey concrete and we want to extend it backwards. As soon as it hits the tree physically like this, just leave it there and do the same with the opposite side. You can fill the top of this in with glass block and it just creates a raised roof area. On the left side here, feel free to fill this in using oak planks. We'll be making an entrance out of this a little bit later. With the remaining area, I'd recommend simply connecting the glass front to back to create a skylight situation. This will let in a lot of natural light. We're going to use quartz slabs. The quartz slabs are going to go around the top of the glass block area that we have here. So it's just going to skirt all the way around the outside of it. And then leaving half a row from the top, we're going to have the same thing. So we're just leaving half a row's gap and we're going to go all the way around and we'll have this. Extending through to the opposite side, we will be placing more quartz slab, leaving half a row's gap, and then more quartz slab like this. Perfect, so now we have our little house here, and we just have to find a way to get up to the tree, and of course we have to make the rest of the tree as well, but we are making great progress. So just to help us figure out where some rooms are going to go and stuff like that, on the front of the tree, if you leave a gap of 2 from the bottom here, and then you take the 3 rows above, which will be 1, 2 and 3, and you knock them all out, and you place either grey concrete or you know what, let's use a bit of quartz because I quite like that as a material. So we're going to use a bit of quartz, and this is going to be a little sort of hidden room inside of the house, and what we can do is we can just seal up the area using a bit of blue glass block like this, and nobody would be any the wiser except for the fact that there's a giant window telling you where the room is. So up above us, we're also going to have another room, okay? But I feel as though that we should make the mode of transportation first. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to place a block of quartz here in the front left-hand corner of our tree. So just kind of here. We're going to have a stair extending up towards it, like so. The way that we're... Whoa. Dangerous. The way that we're going to get up in here is through a hatch. So quite simply, this block or this one, it doesn't really matter which one. It's, you know, you can choose either. We basically want to have a ladder here or here. It doesn't genuinely matter which one you choose, but we'll have a ladder there later. We are going to place the staircase that is going to take us to the top of the tree. We're going to extend the block of quartz around the tree until we get to the side where we have the 2 blocks stuck together. Here we will be using quartz stairs. When we get to the corners, we will once again be using block of quartz until we get to the smooth side, and then we'll be using quartz stairs. And then once again on the corner we'll be using block of quartz, and again on the smooth side we will be using quartz stairs. And I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but we'll be going around the corner here with the block of quartz. We'll eventually be sticking one right out the tree. We might even have... Do we want to go any higher than this? Probably not really, because, you see, as we hit this corner here, we're going to extend the quartz across, and maybe around here. 1, 2, 3 rows at the top. This is going to be a room. So we're going to use a block of quartz for the room. Here, we want to be able to walk in here. This is actually a bedroom with an ender chest, and it's just a nice little cozy bedroom. You don't have to use strictly block of quartz. You can actually, around this platform, it's actually nice to have a contrast color, say grey concrete. And it's kind of cool to place some quartz slabs around the top of the concrete like this, maybe all the way around. Will that look goofy? I don't know, we'll have to see. And then by placing some blue stained glass pane kind of like around this, like so. We may even reduce the... Does that balcony look a little bit silly? No, it actually looks kind of cool. It's a little bit bigger than the balcony that I originally made, but hey, that's how things go. And now we have a balcony up at the top here. Feel free to, of course, shrink the balcony a row because it doesn't have to be this wide. Like if you wanted to, like it doesn't have to be this stuck out. But we actually had a little bit more room. Originally I designed it to be quite small, but there is no reason why you can't change everything about this builder if you want to. So we can just have something which should look like that. That looks pretty good. I mean, we could even add like another grey concrete here and here, and then that doesn't look too bad. We could even wrap the quartz slab around it. That actually looks a little bit better, I do think. Anyway, so now that we have the ground floor pretty much sorted out, we have here, we might even add just a little bit of glass too. We have the ground floor sorted out, we've got the middle room, we've got the top room. What do we do next, you might be wondering to yourselves? Well, we are going to decorate the outside of the house a little bit down at the bottom. So down at the bottom here, we're simply going to be placing some oak leaves all the way around the outside of the right side. It's going to go all the way around the build. It's going to split where there's windows. We're going to split the leaves. So if you've got one there, perfect. If you've got a window there, then perfect. Just split the leaves. We only want it on the right side, not the left. What else do we have to do from here? Well, it's honestly very, very simple. So all the way up at the top of the build, we have to add leaves to the top of this. If you want, you can place, say, grey concrete or leaves or whatever in the top of the tree like this. So you can keep it separate if you wanted. You could even add some lights. Not that I have any lights other than lanterns, but maybe some sea lanterns or something like that. But the more important thing that we must do here is we want to create leaves that are, they at the very least want to roughly be as big, and this is the rough guide to doing this, ladies and gentlemen, because we are not, absolutely not doing this by measurements. So this is the rough guide to how you would do your leaves. So we want a rectangular area of leaves that are at the very least about as big as the area below. We want it to be about as big as the area below, okay? So, you know, something like this actually looks pretty good. But what we then want to do, now that we have that area, and you can feel free to add like a layer on top of it if you like. A layer on top, I mean a layer around it. That will make it a little bit bigger, and bigger is sometimes better. So now that we've done that, have we maybe added another row to? No, because it doesn't overhang those stairs there. So now that we kind of have like a base shape to go on, something like this, it's at the very least as big as the area below, if not a little bit bigger on some sides. The idea that I have is to make it into an oval. You guys know what ovals are. They're the circle's cousin. Basically, what we have to do is just elongate the sides of this, the left and right side a little bit like this, and we basically want to make it look a little bit like this. So you want to take the sides, you want to turn them into kind of like semi-pyramids. And by the way, this is every single time I make a treehouse, I make this point. It wants to look random. It doesn't necessarily want to look man-made. As a matter of fact, when it comes to leaves, leaves can look a little bit weird if they're man-made. Something like this is just fine. That's a pretty decent area that we have above. You may even want to alter that. You may want to shave it on one side, not on the other. I'm going to recommend that you fill this in. Find a shape that you're happy with, something that looks like an oval. Again, the circle's cousin. And just fill it in like this. And all you will have to do, and this takes a long time to do, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. This is no easy task. It's quite complicated. By complicated, I mean it's just got a little bit repetitive. What you will do is add leaves around the top of this. So you'll create a volume. You'll make it a little bit taller, like this. Add a few layers of leaves around the top, kind of like this, right? And you may even want to add some underneath the bottom as well. You may want to have patches of leaves, maybe even in oval shapes themselves, because, I mean, again, ovals are such nice tree-looking shapes. They're not quite a circle, but they're, it's just a little, it just seems like quite a natural shape. Like you might want to add some kind of like this, right? So like this, make it a little bit bigger, whatever, something like that. You might want to add a few patches around there. You're going to want to build up volume with the tree, like I said. So you're not going to want to start but just with like one layer of leaves around the top of this. You're going to want to create layers and layers and layers, and that's the whole point. It's multiple layers. But what I want to show you is not only can you add layers, the layers are very important, but you're probably going to want to alter those layers. So you're going to want to take out some leaves where necessary. So maybe here you're going to want to add some where you feel is necessary. And you can see from this snippet on the right, in comparison, in contrast to the left, that this is the way to go. That looks a little bit boring, a little bit plain, a little bit flat. This is a little bit more natural looking, despite the fact this is anything but. You probably don't have to add that many layers of leaves. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 to add a top on this. I want this to be a little bit of a disc, so kind of like a flying saucer, a UFO. I sort of want it to look a little bit like that, but made out of leaves. Nature's UFO, if you will. So we just want to add the leaves like this, and I'm not going to do the whole thing on recording because it's a very lengthy process, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to keep you waiting, but you can get the gist of how this is going to work like this. And once you have managed to eventually make the leaves, which we have absolutely not done yet, but I'd recommend adding some oak fence and some lanterns. So the oak fence and the lanterns can be placed kind of like in a trio, so kind of like this, not Dugtrio the Pokemon, but something similar. So kind of like in a trio like this, as if you were playing bowling but with only 3 pins. And you're just going to want to extend the fence down, and we want to extend the fence in such a way that the fence are about 2 rows away from each other like this. So something like this, here, and here. Perfect. So we have the 2 here, gap of 2, gap of 2. So kind of like cascading down in 2s. And then we're simply going to place lanterns hanging from here. This is a big feature for me. I think that this really makes the tree look a little bit cooler. If you want to add more light, you absolutely can. So you can add it... can you not place it on glass? Okay, apparently you can only do that on PC, but... I mean, if we turn this into a glass block, it just wouldn't look quite right, would it? But on the original version, I built this on Java instead of Bedrock. I have like a lantern up there, and I'm quite happy with it. We could even have like a lantern down here, just to kind of like highlight where some of the areas are. And that's pretty much it. I mean, where do you go from here? You may be wondering to yourselves. Well, what do we have to do? We have to fill the remainder of the tree in, but we've got a pretty good implant on how we can do that. We have to fill the inside in. I'm going to be doing that off recording. That's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go away and I'm going to do 2 things for you. I'm going to finish the leaves at the top. I'm going to make them look all fantastic. And then I'm going to fill all the rooms up with stuff. And hopefully you guys will like it, and I'll give you a nice tour around the tree. But you'd best believe that once you have hit this point, you are 95% done. You just need to finish the leaves and you just need to decorate. And I'll be back once I've done both of those things. So this is what your house will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. As you can see, we have completed all of the leaves on the top, and I dare say that it looks rather natural. We have filled in the entire house, and I want to show you. So if we come into the base of the house, the first floor, you'll notice that the first thing that we have is an enchantment library and every sort of crafting table known to man. We have a nice little bit of decoration, we have storage, we have a little mushroom up there, we have a little bit of a brewing area and additional storage. If we climb our way up into the second floor, you'll notice that we have a smelting area, and we even have like a little suit of armor with an anvil. We have more storage, and if we work our way down, because we have to go down to go back up again, if we work our way down and we climb up these ladders here and we walk all the way around this staircase here, if we work our way all the way around till we eventually get to the top, and here we have a little bedroom here with an ender chest and more storage. And that is the house. I do hope that you guys enjoyed making it. I do hope that you will enjoy decorating it and making it your own. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very, very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking that little bell next to the subscription button. And if you want to make anything else by me, check out the card system, description below, in the top of the comment section for more. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!